lock this poor guy up.
And after Democrats went to bat for him to get him released from detention and delivered sanctuary to him after he was released from detention, and you know, he went before the court, and the federal judge dropped the detainment charges because he was awaiting his turn at citizenship, and he had made his applications. But now he's a violent criminal, Russ. He's not just a dumb criminal. He's a violent criminal. But isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing how you progress from, okay, illegally crossing, driving without a license, working illegally off the books, violent crime. Isn't it amazing how that progression happens more often than not?
And there's a certain portly city councilman in southern Brooklyn that I'm dying to mess with on Twitter over this. But I remember he was such a defender of this guy and bashing Trump.
Of course, we're talking about Justin Brannan. We're talking about we can name him. Justin Brannan, who decided to step up for this, and it really polarized his own constituency about it. Pictures with him holding his daughter's hand, walking down the street and all that. And now he basically got Schumered. Remember Schumer with the people that he led into the country ended up being terrorists that he advocated for? He just got Schumered.
Oh, Gene, sometimes you ever see the movie The Truman Show?
Yes, absolutely.
Sometimes I feel like we're like in the Trump show, that this whole thing is scripted because you can't make this stuff up. It's just so Trump is right. It seems like all the time. I'm like getting scared that we're in some kind of reality TV show.
It's not that he's right all the time. It's that others make him right all the time. That's the crazy thing. It's not like he's making, and we'll talk about this later in the show, it's not like he's making Cory Booker allegedly hit on a guy in a bathroom. and then go and talk about how we need moral leadership in the Supreme Court. He didn't make him do that. It's not
right.
Like he made MIchael Avenatti take on Stormy Daniels, which we'll also talk about later in the show, and then get a judgment against him for close to $5 million for back rent, get caught up in a case that involved, rape parties, and then lose a lawsuit to Donald Trump and have to pay his legal fees. They didn't make him do that. They didn't make him do that. It just happened, right, Russ? I mean,
I'm almost speechless. But Gene, every day it's like me. The people you associate with every day, it's the Trump show every day. Everyone's talking about the man. You can't wait to see what he tweets every morning. When you come home, you turn on the TV and he's going to be on there saying something crazy. But he's right. He's almost always right. And like you said, maybe he's not always right. He's not making the Democrats do these insane things. But the media too. The media keep falling into his traps. Everything the man... He sets them up, and they fall into it. This Caravan, Gene, could you have written this into the script? This is 2 weeks before the midterm election, and look what's on our TV every day.
It's the Trump wedge issue. It's the Trump wedge issue.
It's the perfect one.
As early voting is going on, too, which is absolutely crazy.
Yes. It's astonishing. And now Cory Booker... I forgot about that, Gene, the bathroom accusation. We definitely have to talk about that a little bit.
We definitely will. Listen, when we come back from this break, we're going to have Chris Casamassa talking about Bullyproof Fitness. It's a great program that he has. And then Russ and I are going to riff on a whole bunch of topics, including the rally in Texas, Cory Booker, MIchael Avenatti, why PETA says milk is racist, and a whole bunch of other sentences I never thought I'd say before. Gene and Russ, Behind Enemy Lines, will be back right after these brief words. Behind Enemy Lines.
I'm voting in the midterm elections because
my constitutional right,
because my ancestors died,
to make it better for my children.
The women before me fought
so we can remain free,
helping your community out.
Midterm election.
I know every vote makes a difference.
My opinion matters.
I vote.
I vote. I vote in the midterm election.
Register now on IamAvoter.com. And don't forget to vote Tuesday, November 6th.
Brought to you by I Am a Voter and the Ad Council.
If you're a long-time listener of the show, or maybe this is your first time listening, you can probably tell that me and the gang here, we like to have our share of fun, whether it's on or off the air. We talk about 2-drink minimum radio and no medication Wednesdays or whatever day it may be. That's why when we found the people at Less Government, More Fun, we knew it was a match made in heaven with this show. Folks, we live in a time where government is out of hand. Our founding fathers did not intend government to be all-consuming in all parts of our lives. That's why we are telling you to go to lessgovmorefun.com, check out the website, check out the swag. What the people want is less government, more fun. Pass it on, make it happen.
Who might you save?
Your mother, your father, your husband, uncle, aunt, son.
Learn FAST, F-A-S-T, the sudden signs of a stroke, and you could save.
Your friend, teacher, boss.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. F-A-S-T. That's F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in the recovery of
your neighbor, the waiter, grandmother, grandfather.
So learn FAST, the sudden signs of a stroke, then pass it on, because you never know who might save you.
Your wife, your colleague.
Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Behind Enemy Lines Radio is all about being right. No, seriously, it is. If you ever listen to Russ Gallo or me go back and forth on some issue, we always want to make sure that we remember who said what and when we said it. That's why we go to goonrecord.com. It's a brand new social media website. Challenge people on what they believe, whether it's in politics, sports, entertainment, finance, whatever. There's a category for you at goonrecord.com. Check it out right now. Tell us, what do you stand for? It's time for you to go on record. Behind Enemy Lines. Back on the air. Gene Baradelli, back behind Enemy Lines. Taking a moment to not get political for a while. I wanted to do something that's important to me because I'm helping to raise my 7-year-old nephew. And, you know, second grade, growing up, it can be a tough time for kids. I remember, not all good times in school. And I'm lucky enough to talk to someone that I actually looked up to in my teenage years. He's a best-selling author, a number one best-selling author, actor, business consultant, honest-to-God ninja, and probably most famous for everyone for being Scorpion in the Mortal Kombat movies, Chris Casamassa. Sir, we were talking off air. What a thrill it is for me to get to talk to you.
Oh, well, thanks, Gene. I appreciate you having me on, man. That's really cool.
Oh, listen, it's so cool on this end, because like I was telling you, WMAC Masters, even though it was on for 2 years, it was like a Saturday morning ritual when I was a teenager. Had to watch it.
Oh, that's cool, man. Thank you very much.
I'm helping to raise my nephew, and he has tons of friends. But there are times when, we had to go to school recently because there was a kid that was not really acting properly with him. Not physically, but more, making fun and whatnot, like kids do. But you've created this program, Bully-Proof Fitness, that seems to battle, that in such a positive way. Talk about the program and how it got started.
I run an operating chain of martial arts schools in California, in the LA area, and we've been working with kids now for over half a century. My father started our company. And I've seen the great impact that martial arts can have on kids. So what I wanted to do was try and impact more and more people, right? I was very fortunate in the fact that I grew up in the martial arts, so I always had a lot of confidence and self-esteem because that goes with learning martial arts. But there are so many kids out there that lack it, or they just don't have the support system that they need. So I created this program as a way for kids who weren't in my area to just learn to get a little bit of confidence and self-esteem instilled in them. And I'm out literally traveling the country, going to martial arts schools, public schools, companies to help combat bullying because it's such an epidemic problem for kids.
One of the interesting things I saw that you included in the description of your program is that it's not really just for kids, but it also kind of gives a guide for parents who may be blaming themselves for, something happening to their children, whether they're being bullied or if, they're out of shape, and you provide a path for them as well.
Yeah, listen, a lot of parents will tend to blame themselves, and for the most part, it's not their fault. It's just kids sometimes can be evil little bastards with other kids, and they're afraid to talk to their parents. So some of the resources that we provide in there are, for the parents especially, are some of the warning signs to look for if their kid's behavior suddenly changes, and just what to do and how to communicate with them more effectively so that they can help their kid work through that bullying process. Now, the flip side of that is we also cover a ton of awareness tips, right? So it's not just all about martial arts. There's a whole mental component with it. So some kids are being bullies and they don't even realize that they're being bullied. So we talk about and go through some of the behaviors that they could tend to exhibit. So we can see that little light bulb go off over their head where they're like, oh, wow, I'm actually doing some of that. So they can change their path and not be classified as a bullying or a violent kid.
And of course, there's also the physical fitness element to it. I see the tagline of the book is "Battle Against Bullies and Bellies." It's something that you recognize that America's youth, compared to, I guess, you growing up, much more complacent, video game era and all that stuff. So there's got to be better ways to motivate kids to get up off the couch and do things, right?
Yeah, 100% agree with that, because you're right, with the advent of all the coolness that is social media and online gaming and all like that, kids aren't out and as active as much. I mean, when I was a kid, my parents literally told me, get out of the house, go ride your bike, go skateboard, I'd go to karate class. But things have changed and shifted, and that's why we're trying to learn how to adapt and help them. The other sad part of that is many schools around the country are cutting out physical education and physical activity, but yet there are tons and tons of studies that prove and that link physical activity to improved grades. Right? So they're doing the one thing that would actually help the kids do better in school by taking out that physical activity component. So I'm out there again trying to fight that good fight and get kids and parents on the path of, hey, let's keep our kids fit, healthy, and active. One
thing I've learned about you by going to chriscasamaster.com, you don't do anything small. So you're looking to get 1 million kids involved in your program by 2025. You think you're going to pick a little more of a manageable number here? That's a pretty tall order.
Yeah, actually, 1 million kids is a small number in my estimation. I just want to get out there and get them. There's, probably 10, 15 million kids that could use it and use the program, but I'm only one guy, so that's my mission. I'm actually over 50,000 kids at this point, and literally as I'm talking to you now, I'm driving in Texas to a friend of mine's martial arts school where I'm going to go help another 100 kids and take them through this bullying clinic so that I can impact them in a positive way.
Right, and of course the goals are not only the physical fitness goals, but you want kids to become more confident, more self-reliant. Tell me about the role that martial arts played in your life with your father, who's, for those who don't know, Lou Casamassa is a legend and a pioneer in martial arts. Tell us about growing up in your family and having that around you all your life.
Well, having it around me all my life, I didn't really know any different, but now looking back on it over the years, it was really kind of cool. I mean, my dad was in the Marines, was stationed in Japan, where he started learning martial arts for the first time. And, he made it to black belt actually in Japan at the Kodokan, which is the judo training hall. And when he did that, he was like one of the first 10 Americans to ever accomplish that feat. But he fell in love with the martial arts and came back and started studying many different styles. And today my dad holds black belts in 10 different styles of martial arts. He never really loved any one of them. He loved them all. So in the 1960s, he did something that literally was unheard of. He took all the styles that he had learned and started blending them together. You didn't do that at that time. Like, you were either a Japanese stylist or Korean stylist or Okinawan stylist. You didn't essentially cross the streams. So my dad has some great stories of people that would come in and challenge him and tell him he couldn't do these things. But he persevered, and, we're still here 53 years later.
Absolutely. Now, Bullyproof Fitness, folks, obviously you want to go and get the book. It's available on Amazon, and but it's more than just a book, Chris, right? It's videos that are available. There are meal plans available, and there's even an app, right?
Yeah, we have an app which is graciously put up by a company called Budo Code. They do app development software and create apps not for martial arts schools only, but for fitness gyms and centers. But yeah, there's an app and it's free, right? Because I don't want money to be an obstacle or an issue. Like, I want to impact as many kids as possible. So there's a free app. They can download it. It's in the